I built a coaching and consulting business in my early 30s that does millions in profit every single year. But most importantly, I only work 20 hours or even less per week. Now, I'm a firm believer that coaching and consulting businesses are one of the best business models in the world to build. And I want to give you a sneak peek behind my business, how it runs, and most importantly, share the insights on how you can grow an ultra profitable business that essentially means you can work less than 20 hours per week, doing the stuff that you love, working with clients that you love, and most importantly, use that business to fuel your life and live life on your own terms. Let me give you a quick backstory. I was not a fitness guy. I was overweight, I was out of shape, but at 16 years of age, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And when the doctor told me that I would never ever look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I would always be struggling with health complications, and that there was a chance that I could go blind and have kidney failure and all this kind of stuff, there was a little voice inside me that said, how can I stop this? I am not going to accept it. And there was a couple of little topics that came up in that very early conversation with that diabetic nurse. Here it was. You will be at less risk of all of these complications if you exercise, manage your nutrition, take your medication, work on your mindset, and most importantly, get the right rest and recovery every single day with good quality sleep. Those areas were my savior, and those are the areas that I committed my life to understanding. Long story short, the very minute that I was diagnosed, I got stuck into the books and I self-learned and studied everything there was to possibly know about diabetes, the human body, nutrition, and how my body was working. I then expanded on that and went to university for 7 years and studied human physiology, clinical nutrition, biochemistry, and essentially got to understand what was going on inside my world. And during that journey, I also fell in love with bodybuilding. I remember going to the first bodybuilding gym that I ever went to. I was fat as fuck. And I went to the doors, you could literally smell the testosterone 10 miles away. You could hear the music pumping, and I walked in and I started on the recumbent bike. And I slowly, week by week, worked my way down to the weights room. And I just fell in love with weights. And trying to build muscle with diabetes was a challenge. I actually wrote a book on it called The Diabetic Muscle and Fitness Guide. It's the world's best-selling encyclopedia on how to get jacked and lean with diabetes. If you're type 1 diabetic, you need to read this. If you know a type 1 diabetic, go and grab them this book. But I committed to building the best physique possible. And lo and behold, I became a very good junior bodybuilder. And I won loads of shows and competed all over the world. I even was a sponsored athlete by BSN, it's a large bodybuilding supplement company. I was in Flex, Muscle and Fitness, Men's Health, all of those magazines. And essentially, to the best of my knowledge, I was one of a very select few individuals that had diabetes that were able to grace the covers of magazines, bodybuilding stages, and get my body into extreme levels of condition and strength and performance that very few other people could do. When I fell in love with bodybuilding, I also fell in love with coaching people. I was a really good coach. I was so committed to my craft, but there was one problem. I didn't know how to run a business. And I remember that I used to coach a guy that was also a personal trainer. And here's the thing, he didn't know a thing about personal training. I was teaching him how to be a personal trainer. I taught him how to deadlift. I taught him how to eat. I taught him everything. And that client stayed with me for a bunch of years and then went out on his own. And lo and behold, his ex-girlfriend at the time came to train with me. And she told me what he was charging. And compared to what I was charging, it was like 5 times as much. One of my biggest regrets in life is not doing high ticket coaching earlier. This guy was on it. He knew his marketing, he knew his sales, and he was essentially leveraging knowledge and skills that I never bothered to really learn. All I was interested in was learning how the body worked, nutrition, biochemistry, biomechanics, all the geeky stuff to do with training, but I didn't actually look at how to run a business. And that led me to go and study marketing, sales, customer journey, customer success to an extreme level. And I guess you've always got to look at these scenarios in your life when you realize that you've been doing something wrong and you go all in to make it better. And that's exactly what I did with business. And I built an incredible personal training business. I was the most in-demand coach in the country. I was the most expensive coach. And I was also one of the first coaches to enter the online coaching world. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with all those details. I built a really good business until I outgrew it. I just got to a point where I realized I don't want to do this anymore. And during that time period, I had a lot of coaches that reached out to me and said, I want to build what you've built. I want to have the life that you have. So I began coaching coaches, and I realized to myself, I'm actually teaching these guys all the stuff that I have spent day and night, 365 days a year, learning, understanding, building. By the way, whenever I was like in my early 20s, I didn't party. I sat in and read nutrition textbooks, business textbooks, all of this stuff to be able to impact people, advance the world, advance myself, and I just truly fell in love with the game. So I built this really successful coaching business, personal training online. Coaches were asking me to coach them, and slowly but surely it just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. And I decided, you know what? I can't keep doing all this one-to-one. I have got to build something smarter. So long story short, I decided to launch my first 6-month mastermind. It was called the High Impact Business Mastermind by Phil Graham. And literally this was open to everyone. This was open to beginners, startups, people that were advanced. We even had police officers in there that wanted to leave the police and wanted to be a personal trainer and the whole go of stuff. It was so mixed. But I literally used those 6 months to teach them everything that I knew about life, business, mindset, marketing, sales, delivery. And when you start seeing people come up to you and go, you've helped me pay off my mortgage. You've helped me pay off my parents' mortgage. You've allowed me to go on holiday for the first time. You've allowed me to buy my first dream sports car. You start to kind of realize that you're unlocking the potential in people. And that's when I really fell in love with coaching business. I was naturally a coach. I loved helping people. And I also was fascinated with business. And I realized that a business's real purpose is not its products, services, or programs, but its real purpose is to actually transform you, the entrepreneur, your team, if you have one, and the people that you work with into the humans that they're truly meant to be. Fast forward to today, we run the world's largest organization for educating and helping fitness professionals build a business that makes a shit ton of profit, gives them the life that they want, and ultimately allows them to impact a lot of people. And we're incredibly good at it. We have clients from all around the world, from as far as Australia, right the whole way through to America, and even just up the road. I spoke with a client earlier because I met them at the barber shop. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. I want to give you the breakdown into what we do. So let's get stuck in. First of all, I think it's really important that I give you a bird's eye view of what we actually teach people, because that's essentially the thinking behind everything that we do. So our goal is to help coaches build a business that allows them to live life on their own terms. And in order to live life in your own terms, there's 3 things that need to happen. And by the way, this also applies to any business. You need to be making massive impact with your clients. The bigger the impact, the faster the results, the more money, the greater the reputation you're going to have. Consistent profit. Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. A big focus of mine is helping our clients make profit, not just turnover. And third is having real freedom. What's real freedom? Most business owners don't know because they end up building a trap that they're stuck in. A business needs to make money without you. That's how you unlock your freedom. So if you're in a business right now and you don't have freedom and the business relies 100% on you, or 70% on you, or 80% on you for its revenue, you're trapped. So you want to be able to build a business that runs without you. And in order to do that, you need to have 3 things dialed in. You need to have powerful marketing that takes you from a nobody to an authority. You need to have predictable sales that take you from relying on luck to certainty. And then you also need to have exceptional delivery that gets incredible results for your clients without you needing to be there all the time, and essentially takes you from being hands-on all the time to hands-off with the right systems and the right people. Now, you can see a Venn diagram here, and this is the model of thinking behind everything that we do. I'm not going to go into every single area, but this underpins our coaching, our support, our events, and everything that we do. The next thing I want to talk about is what we actually sell. Now, we sell quite a lot of stuff. So there's a pyramid that's going to flash up here, and there's going to be different stages with it. The first stage is entertainment. Entertainment is for things like one-off events, books, productivity journals, short micro courses, little products that we launch here, there, and everywhere. We use these to give people a taste of our world and give them a micro benefit. And when they get a micro benefit, they also want more. Please bear this in mind anytime that you're building a coaching business. The very thing that you sell should be designed to create a problem whilst also solving a problem, especially your lower level stuff. So the information-based products give people an immediate punch of value. So let's just say, for example, I sell you a mindset training at $197 or $97. Whatever it is. You then activate a new level of thinking that then wants you to go higher. Let's say I sell you a productivity journal. You start to organize your day and you start to get more shit done. That creates a space to grow. So can you understand that it creates another problem? That's what you need to bear in mind when you're building a coaching business. It doesn't just start with your main thing. It starts the whole way up with an ascension level of products and services that increase in value, increase in price as you rise. The next level is information, and these are courses. We run courses from 1K, 2K, 3K, the whole way up. And we've gone through a number of iterations of different courses to help customers, to help coaches with their marketing, with their sales, with parts of their client journey and delivery. And we sell thousands of these a year. The next level up is implementation. And this is our core level mastermind for the core people in the market. You'll find that when you look at your market, there is a core level of people. They're at a specific level, they're stuck at a specific level, and they've got common problems. This is where these fitness businesses come in and get hands-on support from my coaching team. So they get a whole range of stuff, which I'm going to go through in a bit. But they work together with my team on solving their biggest problems in business, and the whole goal is to drive implementation. Courses are amazing, but they're information, and you're relying on the individuals that buy the course to do the course. And full transparency, most people that buy courses don't use them. Most people that buy books don't read them. So implementation is key to results. The next level up from that is for coaches that have mastered the basics and are really wanting to scale. The lower level, the implementation level, is for coaches that want to grow. Growing's easy, scaling's difficult. And in order to scale, you have more advanced problem solving, more detailed one-to-one, but most importantly, you've got access, and access to really smart people. We coach the most successful fitness businesses in the world. High 6, 7-figure, even 8-figure businesses. And we've seen it all, work with the best of them, and know exactly what they need at a given point where they're stuck in their business. And the next level up from that is for business owners, founders that want high level attention. This is for the highest level in the industry where people want to work with me one-on-one. It's not something that I offer a lot of because it takes up a ton of time, a ton of energy, and I've got a busy schedule and also a great life to lead. So I do not want to be giving up every hour of my day to do one-on-one calls, one-on-one meetups. I put a lot of time and energy into 10 clients every single year, and I don't do any more than that. And they get my undivided attention to sit on their board meetings, to help them with decision making. And these are individuals that are usually at a level that really requires intimate problem solving. The majority of coaching businesses are already accounted for with our team, with our trainings, with our frameworks, with our tools, with our systems. But there is a level where people are maybe setting up for a sale, or people want some more detailed life advice on investments and what I'm doing with this and that. This is where people really want to spend time with me because they just like my life, they like who I am, but it's a value ladder. And over the course of time, this has evolved from one mastermind into all of these products, all of these events, the courses, the masterminds, the high-level masterminds, the high-level one-on-one, and then there actually is a level above that. And that's called equity. Whenever I sit on a business and take equity for my input, and I'm aligned with the business and I want to see it grow, and this also creates value for them and also value for me. So if you are looking to set up a coaching empire, this is the ladder that you should really consider because it's made me a fuck ton of money. It's helped me change a lot of lives. And it's also given me the life that I have right now where I get to control my time. I think it's important to let you know why I called it Fitness Entrepreneur. Back whenever I was a personal trainer and online coach, my mom always used to say, I don't really know how to introduce you to people or tell my friends what it is that you do. Like, what should I call you? And I hated being called a PT. I hated being called an online coach. Nobody would understand what that is anyway because online coaching wasn't a thing back then. And I said to my mom, I'm a fitness entrepreneur. I considered myself an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is somebody that builds a system that creates value for humanity and drives change without it relying on them. And the biggest shift in my career came whenever I focused on working with people one-to-one to one-to-many. Let me explain that really quickly, and this is one of the most important principles of this whole entire video. When you can shift your mindset from focusing on impacting people on a one-to-one level to a one-to-many level, a one-to-many level requires higher level thinking, and you increase your value by working with more people. Now that doesn't just necessarily mean working with larger numbers. That can be part of it. It also means working with people with higher status, higher responsibility. So for example, I'm now working with 8-figure, 7-figure fitness entrepreneurs that have a lot of clients, that have a team, that have a huge impact in the world. When I'm working one-to-one with someone at the bare basic level, I might be working with a coach up the road in Belfast. The impact with that coach in Belfast, who's maybe got 15 or 20 clients, is really small. Therefore, I can't command much exchange. However, when I start solving bigger problems and start focusing on a big business that impacts many, even though I'm doing one-to-one, I'm working with somebody that's impacting a lot of people. On the other side, when you're looking at volume and the amount of clients that you have, you need to have the right systems and the right team to impact more people, because it will get to a point where you can't handle any more work and you begin to bottleneck and you begin to plateau and you begin to get tired, you begin to get fatigued. If you want to grow your business, you got to find the constraint in your business, you got to unlock it, and you do that with team and focusing on the systems and team members that are going to allow you to impact more people without it needing to rely on you. Anyway, let's move on. I know I've done this really, really well because I get clients that say to me, even though there's hundreds of clients in our masterminds, Phil, I feel like I get undivided one-on-one attention whenever I need it. I don't feel alone. I always feel seen and I always feel heard. And the reason for that is down to a couple of things: culture, team, systems, and really just pre-framing. We're not there to hold hands. We're there to advise and consult at the right time. So let me run you through how everything works. Let's talk about marketing. We use a combination of organic marketing and paid marketing. It's super important that your organic marketing is strong because that will make your paid marketing cheaper and more efficient. So listen to this very carefully. I'm going to try to break this down at a high level. Our organic marketing is plain and simple. We post content on the internet, on social media, and we start conversations and we book calls, we close calls, and we make money. Our paid advertising, and by the way, when I talk about paid advertising or paid marketing, I'm relating to everything here, from paid adverts right the whole way through to team members that are paid to go and get clients for us. So I'm going to break this down as simply as I can. We run ads. Advertising, it can be broken down into two goals: brand awareness, where you're advertising to let people know who you are, and capture their data. So for example, one of the most fundamental things in marketing is to run a lead magnet. We run various different lead magnets at various different times of the year to solve problem and provide immediate value to the marketplace. With our lead magnets, our customers could make money. That's our goal. When they download the lead magnet and they use it, most people don't, by the way, they just download the lead magnet, they get insane amounts of value, which makes them then question what they're currently doing, and then they reach out for help. So we run lead magnets. We're currently running one called the Fitness Business Strength Test. If you're a fitness professional, you're going to really want to do this. We run a detailed questionnaire on how likely someone's business is going to grow. They fill it out and they get feedback and action steps, and they get the opportunity to book in for a call. That is a brand awareness piece. It is getting people into our world, giving them some form of value, and then we retarget them with conversion-based ads. These are direct book to call, direct message ads that we retarget to people that have consumed some of our content. We'll also increase spend on certain videos that have done well in order to build an audience off the views, and then we'll retarget that as well, because people who watch your content and consume it are more likely to buy versus those that don't consume it. So brand awareness is important first to get people to recognize you. Then the next piece is conversion, and you can only convert people when you nurture them. This is the big problem with a lot of coaching businesses. They're always looking to generate leads, and you can't generate leads until you actually make them aware who you are and you nurture them through your content and all the other channels that you use and your customer success, and then you convert them at the end if they feel that they trust you. Simple as that. We have an outreach sales team, so we have people that send messages, we have people that reply to messages. We have an outbound sales team that's split between callers and also people doing messages. So the callers will ring people that have opted in for the lead magnet, they'll follow up with them. Then we also have people in our DMs and messages and emails who will email people that have followed us, interacted with our content, and also respond to people that have inquired. We then have email marketing. We have an extensive email list that we've been building for years. We send out emails every single week. If you're not on it, you should be on it because it's really good. We provide a lot of value. With our content, it's really simple. We want our content to make our market money. We want our content to help our market grow and win in life so that they position us as a beacon of hope for their life. And the problem with the marketplace is that it can't make sense of all these little sound bites, and it wants a consolidated mechanism and path. What I shared earlier on is our mechanism. We have a system for generating results. You know a great coaching business when they've got a system and they've got a journey and a clear path to getting towards a result. We have that for 6-figure clients, 7-figure clients, 8-figure clients, whatever way you want to grow. Simple as. We use referrals, we use joint ventures and collaborations, we use paid shout outs. Those are a range of different things that we do. Sales wise, we have an inbound sales team, we have an outbound sales team. People that can receive calls and people that can make calls to create sales opportunities. Delivery, we have an insane client success team of generalists and specialists that help our coaches with various different problems. Marketing, sales, customer journey, coaching, you name it. So if a coach has got a problem, I don't know how to get this result, they get help. I don't know how to do this sales thing, they get help. We run up to 5 hours of coaching every single week on all of the topics of how to market and get clients, how to make sales, how to get better client results, how to remove yourself from the weeds, how to have a better mindset and expand your vision and think more correctly. We've got it all covered. Like, you can't come into our world and not win. The only reason why you wouldn't win is if you come in and you actually don't do anything. And that does happen, by the way. you will have clients, no matter how good you make your coaching program, that won't do anything. Just like a personal trainer. I used to personal train people, have all this knowledge, all this insight on how to communicate and how to whatever. And I would give people a plan, I would tell them what to do, I would keep them accountable, and they'd go out drinking. Or, there was one guy that I trained, he owned a massive big car showroom, super wealthy guy. And he turned up to one of my training sessions with a Coke and a Lion bar. He would never lose weight. And I just said, what are you doing? And he laughed. And he just went, I'm just here to get a break from the office. So understand this, you can't parent everyone. And you do yourself a disservice by trying to change people that aren't ready to change. So you want to make sure that your clients that are coming into the business are ready to change. And the odd one slips through the net. Full transparency. On top of that inside delivery, we have frameworks, we have tools, we have software, we have AI. It is literally weaponized to help fitness professionals navigate the ever-changing market, the ever-changing customer demands and sophistication that happens. By the way, a market always gets sophisticated. That means we have an extensive range of support tools, frameworks, software, AI to help our customers navigate the ever-changing landscape of business. What you're doing last year isn't going to work as well this year. There's always going to be change, and we stay on top of that. We meet together as a team and we go, what do our clients need most right now? And we make sure it happens. And before I go into the lessons, here's a breakdown of what every client gets. They always get a plan so they know exactly what to focus on. No matter where they're at in business, whether they're startup or whether they're at multi-6 or 7 figures, they get a plan of what to focus on over a set time period. They get training in all the areas that I went through at the start with the model that we have built based on how fitness businesses grow and scale and turn into businesses that allow founders to live life on their own terms. They get ongoing accountability. They get check-ins with coaches anytime that they want. They get support. They get one-on-one calls. They get their own private channel. And most importantly, last but not least, they get community. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. So community is so important. We run live events for our clients every 8 weeks because we realize the power of proximity. When you have people in a room that are like-minded, going through the same challenges, want to grow, want to talk about money, want to talk about business, want to talk about building a family, want to talk about changing the world, want to talk about marketing, it just brings so much power together. And clients walk away from our events with a broader view of the world, with hope, with inspiration, so that they're ready to attack all the biggest challenges. And I always say to people that your vision must be bigger than your challenges, but in order to fuel your vision, you need to be around people that've got a vision that is unreasonable, because unreasonable visions in the company of people that have also unreasonable visions are totally normal. So keep that in mind for your own personal growth. We kind of pride ourselves on having one of the most highest powered communities in the world. There are a lot of other fitness business mentors out there. By the way, full transparency, 99% of them are ex-clients of mine that have come in, done well, and decided that they want to do what I do, and that's totally cool. But inside our community, we have created such a high-powered environment that I remember one client came to me and they said to me, I was in a previous mastermind, and if I would have said that I wanted to make multi-7 figures a year, everybody would have laughed at me and called me a dick. When you come into our mastermind, that is normal. There are no limits. Yes, of course, we'll challenge you on your goals if they're massive, but your dream is your dream, and the vision you see is the vision you will get. We actually had one client that said to us, he was in a previous mastermind and he felt scared to share his goals because he feared that everybody else would look down on him. And that's a big misbelief that a lot of people have about life and business, is that in order for you to be wealthy, other people have to suffer. He was in our mastermind and said that he wanted to build a multi-7 figure business and he wanted to be able to retire when he was like 42 or something like that. He wanted to be able to travel the world with his family, pay for his parents' medical bill. There's a whole goal of stuff. And he said, I actually feel comfortable sharing this goal. And here's what you need to realize. Unreasonable goals are perfectly normal in the company of people with unreasonable goals. So it's absolutely crucial that you are in an environment that enriches you, inspires you, challenges the hell out of you, and also supports you whenever you need it. And that's what we have created for people. We have created a safe space, almost a place where you can show up and you know everybody's going to get it. And the reason is simple. We're all on a mission to build a business that allows us to live life on our own terms, full of ambitious people that are also really open to giving. Every client gets a plan, training. We skill people up so that they can make better decisions and grow their confidence in business with decision making and everything else. We give them the accountability and support so that they're never stuck. And we give them the community so it can hold them to a higher standard and they can hold themselves. Now here are the 5 lessons lessons that I've learned in building a business that makes millions in profit every single year. Number one, you can't budget your way to wealth. Back when I first started this business, I was afraid to spend money on team. I was afraid to spend money on advertising, but I didn't realize that team members bought me my time back and freed me up to do the things that I loved. Freed me up to do the things that I was really good at and better than anybody else. Bear this in mind, the strength of the leader in a poorly organized and poorly delegated business is actually the weakness of the business. I didn't understand that you had to pay to get clients. Like when you pay for advertising, you're paying to access future revenue. So let's just say a customer spends 10 grand with you over the course of a lifetime and you spend a grand acquiring that customer. Initially, you might think a grand is a lot of money, and that all depends on your pricing structures and all that kind of stuff. But over the lifetime of them staying with you, they spend 10 grand. That means you're 9K up. Where else are you gonna get those kind of returns? So please understand, you have to pay to play. You have to pay to grow. There is a price of admission to growth, scale, and opportunity. There is a price of admission: money, time, blood, sweat, and tears. So understand that before you go any further. Lesson number two, if you want to grow your business, you need to find the constraint. A constraint is something that holds you back. It's either a limiting belief, it's either in your marketing, it's either in your sales process, it's either in your delivery, or it's a component of your team. So let me give you a prime example of a really simple constraint. A constraint is that when you make more money, people are not going to like you. Your team are going to look at you like you're greedy, they're not going to trust you, they're going to want more money, and you're afraid that everybody's going to be out to get you. That is a constraint, because if you think like that, you're never going to grow beyond it. So you've got to unlock that constraint. Let me give you another constraint. The constraint might be that you're only selling at 40% conversion rate. And the constraint is sales skill. You might not be skilled enough to be able to sell properly, especially with changes in the marketplace. So you gotta look, where am I getting sales training? So if customers are coming with more expectation, higher demands, and bigger challenges and stronger objections that you don't know how to handle, it's worth your while fixing that constraint by building skills. If you raise your conversion from 40% to 65%, 70% with yourself or with a sales team member, you're going to drive growth in your business. So it's all about finding the constraints in the belief processes, the skills, or the processes of each department and team member. Number three, the growth of your business is in direct correlation to the quality of thinking and decisions that are made without you. Long story short, hire a great team, pay them well, make sure they're performing, challenge the hell out of them if they're not performing well, keep them accountable to a number, and correct them when they are off or when they do not perform. Challenge, support, rinse, repeat. Simple as. 4, vague goals create anxiety, sharp goals create direction and anxiety. Here's what you need to know. If you don't set your goals, you're going to be lost. You're going to be rudderless. When you do set goals, especially big goals, you're going to have clear direction, but you're also going to be anxious as fuck because you've just defined what failure means. But you may as well commit to goals because you're going to have anxiety either way. Reset your goals quicker than you can succeed. If you don't do that, you are going to end up fucked. There is nothing worse waking up in the morning going, I don't know what to focus on today. And there will come a point when you grow your business and you do well and you tick off your goals and you're like, do I really want to do this anymore? Is there any point in doing this? I have been there multiple times. You've got to recreate the vision. And bear in mind, your coaching business is often the ticket or the stepping stone to your next business. That's how I encourage people to think bigger. You think you're playing big now? Use this business to fund a bigger goal. A bigger goal requires a bigger, better you. Business is about the game of evolution, the game of growing wisdom, the game of becoming a better thinker, the game of becoming a more respected member of society, like driving humanity in the world. That's how you've got to play the game. The game isn't just about making 10K per month. The game isn't just about making your first mil. That's a transactional goal that will tire just like a brand new car. You've got to make your goals better. And I've written articles and done separate videos on all this kind of stuff. You can check it out, but please keep that in mind. Number 5, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Focus on making profit. In the early days, use your profit to fuel the company's growth. And there is sometimes a bit of a lag between when you spend money on team members, when you spend money on advertising, when you spend money on infrastructure, before you see the return. But when you spend money on your business, it will bring a return, right? It will bring a return. And you've got to be measuring that. I like to aim for a coaching business between 48% and 55%. I have been in the early days in the high ranges of 75% plus, and I thought I was fucking amazing because I was making so much profit. But what I didn't realize is that if I fell ill or if I got fucking bored of the business, then it would simply erode. It would implode. It all relied on Me. And I got tired, I got fatigued, my decision making was altered. It was not the best. So understand, use your profit margin to buy back your time, because I would rather be cash rich and time rich than I would be cash rich and time poor. And most of you guys that are starting out, if you're watching this, are cash poor but time rich. So it's okay for the first part of your journey to actually be building the thing and committing to hours and hours and hours. And I'm a firm believer that in a coaching business, you should do everything before you delegate it. I did graphic design, I did my DMs, I did my sales calls, I did my coaching, I did refund requests, I did everything. And some people talk about hiring A-grade players. That's great, but not a lot of them have fitted into a coaching and consulting business. So you've sometimes got to build the team members. You've got to blend them together. You've got to have unicorn rules. That's going to be a video for another day. So final point is focus on profit over turnover. Don't be afraid to use your profit to build team, build systems, build skills, and unlock constraints so that you can continue to grow and stay relevant in a marketplace that is always changing. My life as an entrepreneur, here's what you need to know. Running a business is one of the toughest, most competitive games in the world. But the beautiful thing is that with every breath, you can start again. Listen to that. With every breath, you can start again. You will be criticized, you will be stolen from, you will be lied to, you will be made fun of for no reason at all because you decided to commit to your vision. But you gotta have a vision that's bigger than all those challenges. If you want your freedom, a business is the perfect vehicle to provide that. But freedom comes at a cost. Bear that in mind. Number 2, here's how I plan my week. The first thing that I put in is fun. The second thing that I put in is health and fitness. The third thing that I put in is family. And the fourth thing I put in is business. And then 5 is margin. So let me just break that down for you. I work on myself first and my family before I work on business. I work on all of that stuff together, and then I work on business last. And I keep a little bit of margin just to the side. Margin is one of the most important things that you need to have in your calendar that nobody really understands. Margin is flexibility. Margin is spillover. You always want to have margin in your bank account so you've got money for a rainy day. You always want to have margin in your calendar so if you get hit with a fire that you have to put out, that you can easily accommodate it. Part of your calendar should actually include white space. Super important. So that's a full breakdown of everything inside Fitness Entrepreneur, the thinking behind what we do, how we got started, the different levels of products and services, how we support clients, the biggest lessons I've learned, and what life is like as an entrepreneur, and what life is like as a CEO and founder. I use my coaching business to fund other things, investments, other business opportunities. And like I said, if you're in the infancy of starting a coaching business, realize that your coaching business may be the thing that you die with, but it also is going to be the thing that allows you to play a bigger, better game and become a bigger, better human. So if you're running out of vision or your vision's getting a little bit tired, just think about that coaching business as a stepping stone to something bigger and greater. We all go through seasons in our life, and a coaching business, in my opinion, is one of the most beautiful seasons that will give you the leg up to do great things in this world, whatever you decide to do, whether that's going work towards 100 million plus, or whether that's to take the cash out, buy a bunch of assets, go and live on a farm and, well, play guitar in the fields. You get the gist. Do whatever you want. It's your game to play, nobody else's. Success is a feeling, it's not a thing. So get clear on how you want to feel and build a business to support those feelings. And if you are a health and fitness professional and you want to know more about what we do, simply click the link in the description and find out more. Anyway, I hope this was useful. Click like, click subscribe, because I produce videos like this every single week, content that I've never shared before, and I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway in the comments.